Right now on Good Morning America First Look, breaking news overnight. The government of Venezuela condemns U.S. military action targeting drug gangs. Venezuela now demanding international action to prevent a military escalation, as President Trump suggests possible U.S. strikes inside Venezuela. Also new overnight, urgent mass evacuations carried out by the military after historic flooding in Alaska. Entire villages forced to evacuate. A break in a cold case dating back to 1984. A teenager murdered after leaving work. Now police say they've solved the case thanks to a straw from a drink. The shocking scene on a school bus, a father accused of ordering his daughter to hit another child. Why he allegedly said he did it. New fallout after the leak of racist text messages linked to members of young Republican groups across the country, including a lawmaker, advisors, and a federal official. Plus, actress Diane Keaton's family now revealing her cause of death. A towering achievement on Mount Everest, an American goes where no one has gone before. Later, the team that won a state title then gave it back. A remarkable act of sportsmanship. And what's behind the teal pumpkin trend this Halloween?
From ABC News, this is Good Morning America First Look.
Good Thursday morning, everyone. I'm Stephanie Ramos.
And I'm Faith Abube. We begin with breaking news overnight. The government of Venezuela condemning U.S. military actions targeting drug gangs in that country.
President Trump now revealing the CIA is actively working inside Venezuela, and he's defending recent airstrikes that blew up alleged drug smuggling boats, killing more than 24 people, even as some lawmakers in his own party question the legality. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has our top story. Nicole, good morning.
Stephanie, good morning. President Trump seems to be expanding his war on drug gangs in South America, and now Venezuela is asking the international community to intervene.
Overnight, the Venezuelan government denouncing President Trump after he said he was considering launching strikes within Venezuela's borders to target drug cartels.
We are certainly looking at land now because we've got the sea very well under control.
Trump now acknowledging he's authorized covert CIA action in the country, escalating a campaign against Venezuela's authoritarian leader, Nicolas Maduro. Venezuela's foreign ministry saying this type of maneuver aims to legitimize a regime change operation as its ultimate goal of having access to Venezuelan oil resources.
I think Venezuela is feeling heat.
It comes after the U.S. carried out its fifth deadly strike on an alleged drug smuggling boat off Venezuela. Asked why he's striking the boats instead of using traditional Coast Guard operations where officers can verify who's on board, Trump claimed Coast Guard boats aren't fast enough to keep up with drug traffickers.
They have faster boats.
The administration has provided no evidence linking the boats or the 27 people killed so far to smuggling operations, prompting criticism from both sides of the political aisle.
There's lots of people who have been designated terrorists. That does not automatically give the authority to take lethal action.
These boats may not have had any drugs on it. We will never know because they were blown to smithereens.
Meanwhile, a legal setback for the Trump administration in its handling of the ongoing U.S. government shutdown. A judge has ordered the administration to immediately halt the mass firings of government employees. The administration yesterday warned up to 10,000 federal workers could be fired. Trump is promising to target programs supported by Democrats.
And they're going to be terminated on a permanent basis. And it's thousands of people.
As the legal battle over the firings plays out, hundreds of thousands of government workers are now going without paychecks.
And back to Venezuela. The government there is calling on the UN to adopt urgent measures to prevent a military escalation. Faith.
Nicole, thank you. We have new images from the U.S. military of mass evacuations now underway after historic flooding in Alaska. Officials say 2 entire villages had to be evacuated after they were devastated by remnants of a typhoon. Hundreds of residents there being flown to Anchorage about 500 miles away. The record storm surge swept away homes. 1 person was killed. At least 2 others were missing. Some buildings were flooded up to their roofs.
Overseas, Hamas says it's now returned the remains of all the Israeli hostages it can currently access amid the destruction in Gaza. 2 more bodies were turned over to Israel, but 19 are still unaccounted for. Still, U.S. officials say Hamas has not violated the peace deal and appears to be making every effort possible. Meanwhile, with Hamas back on the streets of Gaza, video appears to show the militants carrying out a public execution, raising concern about whether the terror group will be willing to disarm. harm.
And we turn now to a scandal involving a group chat between young Republicans, including a lawmaker and political advisors, now under fire for hateful messages.
This morning, new fallout after the leak of racist text messages linked to members of young Republican groups across the country. The website Politico says it obtained 7 months' worth of messages from a group chat in which racist and anti-Semitic slurs were used more than 250 times.
It's awful, it's revolting, it's disgusting, it's obnoxious.
Politico says Peter Junta, who was the chair of the New York State Young Republicans, allegedly wrote in a text message, "Everyone that votes no is going to the gas chamber." In another exchange, Junta reportedly responded, "Great. I love Hitler," during a discussion about backing a right-wing candidate. Some Republicans have denounced the language, while Vice President J.D. Vance dismissed the messages as edgy, offensive jokes.
We're not canceling kids because they do something stupid in a group chat.
But reports say at least 8 of the 11 participants in the group chat are between 24 and 34 years old and include a state senator from Vermont and a federal official. Some participants apologizing, while others claim the messages were taken out of context or doctored. California Governor Gavin Newsom is demanding a congressional investigation, but Vice President J.D. Vance says some Democrats have said worse and says there should not be a rush to judgment.
By the way, if they were left-wing kids telling stupid left-wing jokes, I would also not want their lives to be ruined because they're saying something stupid in a private group chat.
At least 3 of the people involved have now lost their jobs, and the Vermont Republican governor is now calling on that state senator to resign.
The number of Americans considered obese could dramatically jump to nearly 70% under a new definition of obesity. Traditionally, obesity is defined as having a body mass index of 30 or higher. It doesn't differentiate between fat and muscle, but medical experts want to consider new factors, including waist circumference and body fat measurements based on scans. They say the change in definition could lead to helpful lifestyle interventions.
And now to a break in a cold case dating back to the mid-1980s. A teenager murdered after leaving work. And now all these years later, police say they've solved the case thanks to a straw from a drink thrown in the trash. Here's ABC's Andrea Fuji.
This morning, investigators on Long Island, New York, say this is the man they've been looking for nearly 41 years. Thanks to DNA technology, 63-year-old Richard Bilodeau is now behind bars.
Well, let me tell you something, Mr. Bilodeau. It's 2025, and I got you now.
Investigators say Bilodeau killed 16-year-old Teresa Fusco back in 1984. She just left her job at this roller skating rink and never came home. Her body found a month later. Police say she'd been sexually assaulted, beaten, and strangled. 3 men were arrested for her death, but they'd always insisted they were innocent. And in 2003, DNA technology exonerated them.
I always knew that DNA testing would vindicate me.
Investigators say they never gave up looking for the real killer. And in 2023, a DNA sample from Teresa's body was sent to a lab to build a DNA profile of the killer. Using genetic genealogy, investigators searched for possible relatives of the suspect, which led them to Bilodeau. Last February, when he threw away this smoothie cup, investigators grabbed it and say they found the DNA on that straw was a match to DNA found on Teresa.
100% match. We got the guy.
Teresa's father, grateful.
I only loved her and I miss her. That's all I can say. She lives in my heart, as you can see.
Bilodeau does not have any previous arrests.
Mr. Bilodeau professes his innocence. He pled not guilty today, and we're looking forward for the matter to go through the court system.
Bilodeau denied knowing Teresa Fusco, but apparently told investigators that back in the 80s, people got away with murder. He's due back in court next month. Stephanie, Faith.
Our thanks to Andrea. Time now for your Thursday weather.
Good morning. It's a gusty and sunny but cool day in the northeast, but just to the west, we've got some summer heat in the middle of the country into the 80s up to Kansas City. It's hot into the southeast, and then all the chill now in the northern and central Rockies. That's where we're getting some rain and high elevation snow. There's even a winter weather advisory in the Tetons for up to 10 inches of snow. That warmth will start to move east as we get into the weekend as temperatures get milder, be in the 60s in New York and D.C. by the time we get into the weekend. And then a front could bring some severe weather in the middle of the country on Saturday. That's your forecast. I'm ABC News meteorologist Lee Goldberg.
All right, coming up, actress Diane Keaton's cause of death, what her family is now saying.
Also ahead, the terrifying collapse of this grain storage bin and what was reported moments earlier. And the shocking scene on a school bus, a father accused of ordering his daughter to hit another child. Why? He allegedly said it. He didn't.
Take a look at this dramatic video from Illinois. A concrete grain bin crashing to the ground, hitting power lines and sending people running for cover. Emergency crews had just cleared the area after someone spotted a crack in the structure. No one was hurt, thankfully, but dozens of homes lost power.
Now to a shocking scene on a school bus in Missouri.
This morning, a Missouri father faces assault charges after police say he ordered his 6-year-old daughter to attack another student on the school bus.
Don't put your hands on my daughter no more, because if I find out you touching her again, your parents gonna have to talk to me.
Video released by the Ferguson Police Department allegedly shows 36-year-old Maurice Fox confronting the student moments before his daughter begins hitting her.
What I told you? What you do?
Authorities say Fox encouraged his daughter to continue punching the child.
I want her crying again.
An arrest warrant has been issued for Fox. Ferguson's police chief calling the incident disturbing and completely unacceptable, adding he has avoided all efforts to speak with our detectives. However, he has found the time to create a GoFundMe account seeking donations for his legal defense. That online fundraiser has since been removed.
Hey, look at me.
Fox reportedly defending his actions, writing, "I felt I had no other choice as a parent. My only intention was to protect my child and empower her in a world that hasn't protected her." Prosecutors responding, saying, "What kind of a world do we live in when a parent teaches his child to resolve conflict through violence?"
Prosecutors expect more charges against Fox once the case goes to a grand jury.
The family of actress Diane Keaton is now revealing the cause of death. They say the 79-year-old died of pneumonia. Sources have said her health declined suddenly. Her family now thanking fans for their love and support.
Coming up, a warning about those popular AirTag tracking devices.
Also ahead, a father accused of killing his daughter's alleged abuser. He decides to run for sheriff, and now the question is, should he be allowed to serve? More after the break. We're back now with a dog named Colton starting a fire in this North Carolina home after chewing on a power bank. Colton running upstairs as the fire spread. He is okay, but firefighters say it's a reminder to properly store your lithium batteries.
2 men have been arrested for this terrifying home invasion near Tampa. The suspects forcing the victims into their garage at gunpoint, then taking off when the alarm rang. Police later found an Apple AirTag tracking device taped under the couple's car, suggesting they were targeted and followed home. The men are now charged with armed burglary and kidnapping.
And now to Arkansas and a controversial candidate running for sheriff. The candidate is an accused killer, but he says he was just defending his daughter from an alleged pedophile.
It was a little over a year ago when Arkansas father Aaron Spencer says he shot and killed his daughter's alleged abuser.
I'm the father who acted to protect his daughter when the system failed.
On October 8th, 2024, Spencer says his 14-year-old daughter was missing from her room. So he jumped into his car and searched the area until he says he spotted her in the back seat of 67-year-old Michael Fossler's car. Fossler was out on bail after being charged with more than 40 child sex crimes involving Spencer's daughter. According to an affidavit, Spencer rammed Fossler's car off the road and then shot him during an altercation.
I have seen firsthand the failures in law enforcement and in our circuit court.
Spencer is getting into politics, running for sheriff. He admits to killing Fossler, but has pleaded not guilty to second-degree murder, saying that when he opened fire, he feared for his daughter's life.
This campaign isn't about me. It's about every parent, every neighbor, every family who deserves to feel safe in their homes and safe in their community.
Spencer is now running against the man who was sheriff at the time of his arrest.
I'm a daddy. In a situation similar to this, I can't tell you I wouldn't act the same way.
If convicted, Spencer faces up to 45 years in prison and would be disqualified from becoming sheriff. But the public may be on his side. More than 360,000 people have now signed a petition hoping to absolve him of his alleged crimes. Supporters posting messages saying, quote, "He's a father, not a felon. The system failed. He didn't." Protecting his daughter isn't murder. For now, Spencer is focusing on his campaign.
It's about restoring trust, where neighbors know law enforcement is on their side.
And Spencer's case goes on trial in January. Voting in the sheriff's race begins the following month.
Coming up on GMA First Look, the historic achievement atop Mount Everest.
Plus, the team that won a state title and then gave it back, a remarkable act of sportsmanship. That's next.
Time to check the pulse. We begin with a death-defying achievement on Mount Everest.
An American mountaineer is now the first person to ever ski down the North Face, which is considered Mount Everest's most dangerous slope. 50-year-old Jim Morrison spent more than 6 weeks on that mountain.
After reaching the summit at more than 29,000 feet, he skied back down. His adventure was filmed for an upcoming documentary on National Geographic. Next, the Victoria's Secret fashion show hit the stage right here in New York City.
Yeah, the show featured models, celebrities, and pop stars. Olympic gold medalist Suni Lee and WNBA Angel Reese. They were all there. She actually became the first pro athlete to walk the Victoria's Secret runway. Sisters Bella and Gigi Hadid were also there. They marked their return to the catwalk, while supermodel Emily Ratajkowski made her Victoria's Secret debut. And she wasn't in lingerie, but Missy Elliott, she stole the show with a medley of her biggest hits. And next, a remarkable act of sportsmanship by a high school basketball team in Oklahoma.
Yeah, this is a really neat story. They won the state title, but then they give it back. It was a nail-biter. The team from the Academy of Classical Christian Studies won the game by 1 point, but after all the celebrating, the coach had a sinking feeling that there was a scoring mistake that gave his team an unfair advantage. So he reviewed the video, and he was right.
And then the team did the right thing. They gave up their state title to their opponent.
With giving the trophy back, we were able to celebrate more than just winning the game, which was really cool.
The coach telling our station Coco his players learned a valuable lesson. There are bigger things in life than winning.
And finally, definitely. And finally here, you may see a lot of colors around this time of year. Teal colored pumpkins, probably not something you see often.
Yeah, I'm wearing the right sweater today. It's part of a movement to raise awareness about food allergies and promote inclusion. So if you put a teal pumpkin outside your house, it means you have non-food treats available like stickers or glow sticks. We'll be right back. Checking more top stories, Venezuela plans to protest to the UN after President Trump said he authorized CIA operations inside that country as part of his war on drug cartels and threatened strikes within the country. Venezuela claims the U.S. wants regime change.
And Bank of America is the target of a new lawsuit over its alleged financial ties to Jeffrey Epstein. The suit was filed by a woman who claims she was sex trafficked by Epstein while he had funding and support from Bank of America. No comment yet from the bank.
And a new warning about drinking alcohol. A new study warns even light or moderate amounts of alcohol consumption can increase the risk for dementia. Researchers found an added risk even for people not genetically predisposed to dementia.
And today's weather, some frost in the Northeast, snow in the Rockies, and rain in the upper Midwest.
And finally, New York's biggest museum fan.
One by one, she's seeing them all. Danny New has more.
Sure, we may know about New York's legendary Museum of Natural History as seen in Night at the Museum.
I'm at the Brooklyn Seltzer Museum in East New York.
But did you know the city also has, for example, a museum for seltzer?
There's more than just like the MoMA and the Met and the Guggenheim, all the big ones that we take our friends to when they visit New York.
For the past 4 years, Jane August here has been on a mission to visit the estimated 200 museums you can find tucked into the Big Apple's 5 boroughs.
It's gone way bigger than I ever expected it would be. And now we're here at 143 museums.
It began as a pet project when she was furloughed in the pandemic, and now, more than 1 million likes later, Jane has kind of become social media's NYC Museum ambassador.
They have toys from the 70s, 80s, and beyond.
She's taken folks to lesser-known gems like the Museum of Nostalgia in Queens.
Today I'm at the Red Hook Pinball Museum.
And a newly opened pinball museum in Brooklyn.
It's these two guys who have a passion for restoring vintage pinball machines. And at the point where they want people to see them all.
She's also explored museums on the history of tattoos, lighthouses, Broadway, and even the one inside of the Statue of Liberty. However, when Jane went, she did not accidentally wear the same shade of green.
It's the only place in the city where you can publicly see human bones.
In fact, since we're now officially in spooky season, I must tell you that Jane has even visited a place called the Bone Museum. It has the country's largest display of human spines.
I'm at the South Street Seaport Museum.
But 4 years and almost 150 museums in, Jane says now new museums are reaching out to ask her to come visit when they open. So technically, Jane may now need to visit over 200. Not that I hear her complaining.
At this point, all the museums in New York City are my children.
I checked in with Jane today, guys, and she said she just hit museum number 145 with the American Irish Historical Society, but for her last one, she is saving the one famously known as the Met.
Oh, that's a good one. It is. That's your GMA First Look.